Did not yesterday. Drove the ball errantly.
We got some contraptions out on the putting green. Rory Mcilroy is midway in the field here, middle of the field, 15th. He is gaining strokes on the field. Boy, you can get it through that little hole.
Yeah, see, I like going through the bracket. I know he's got the, trying to keep the face square to the line. But if you can put it through that bracket with consistency, and that pretty much tells you that the face is staying on line.
Mark, this is a little device here that takes a while to set up, but we're watching him use it. Looks really good, really good.
It really is. I remember a couple of seasons ago here, Rory Mcilroy with a similar device. It was a mirror that the little plate he lay on the ground was the last time. This isn't. He made something in the order of about 50 15-footers in a row. Right now, he's just got his coach Michael Bannon on hand. JP Fitzgerald, his longtime caddy, is there too. And as Bill described, the main thing here is just face stabilization. Because if that face remains open or if it shuts prematurely, there's very little chance that you're going to get the ball through that very small little gate, because the ball can barely wiggle through this. So you've got to be very on point. He's hitting up an uphiller from about 6 feet or so. So just a drill here to stabilize the putter face.
Doink. Little Sunday afternoon croquet. Manageable par. All right, so now Rory has moved off of the contraption. The hole is full. Can you make it without the device?
Should be a right center putt.
Oh boy, Mark. If this doesn't go in, we got to start over.
Well, I've seen a left, and then I saw a right, and just wiggles in the left edge there. Rory looking a little out of sorts, but he has putted decently this week, though, on these greens, boys.
I've seen good, and I've seen bad with Rory with this little practice session.
Yeah, that's he's working very, very hard on his mechanics and visualizing, technical stuff as well.
Well, he has a chance to win.
Yes.
And Dustin finishing lower than runner-up.
Yeah.
But you just can't get too far ahead of yourself.
Oh, no.
I'm surprised someone didn't yell 4 there. I mean, that was well into the spectators.
Yeah, that was not good. But Rory had a super day yesterday, 66, 17 greens. He's starting to get a lot more comfortable with his putter. He looks a little bit more relaxed. But
see, I like this little drill right here. As soon as JP gets it back to him, once he sets it up, it's a one look and go.
Yes.
Look at this. One look, go. Make it reactionary.
You know who else does that and did it extremely well for a long time was Aaron Baddeley.
Still does it well.
Yeah.
Still does it well.
He went through a little, patch of very poor ball striking, but he's always been a good putter. And yeah, just making it more reactionary, Billy. I agree. I like that. Less time to think about it. Just stroke it. Long-time coach Michael Bannon from Northern Ireland, and been Rory's only coach since he was a young man.
Well, Michael Bannon working very diligently with this club right here. Grain back into the players as we go back to the practice area. Rory Mcilroy gearing up for his tee time.
Well, and all
1:45.
Exactly, Billy. And all he can control is himself. He needs to go out and win this Tour Championship and then see where the chips fall for the FedEx Cup. But it's certainly a possibility with a win that he could take it all.
Well, certainly had a great opportunity in 14 when he was in that final pairing with Billy Horschel, but good round yesterday, positioned himself.
Yeah. The scene at the range, there's just a few left to choose from there, Mark, and all of these guys are very much involved in this drama.
Yeah, it is hot and steamy out here. Fans still loving, although a few fans have now made their way to the golf course, and we've got the top three contenders here basically in the business end of their warm-up. McIlroy has just pulled the driver for the first time, went through the bags of the progressions. Kevin Chappell into hybrids right now. DJ's still in the irons. He doesn't seem like he's in too much of a rush, but that thing by McIlroy is absolutely tattooed. He is just free-flowing right now.
Well, it's so much fun to watch. I just remember watching Rory Mcilroy win the US Open at Congressional. He was just a youngster back in 2012. He hit some of the most magnificent drives, Mark Immelman, that I think I've ever seen. It was just a glorious display.
Well, the funny thing is, Jane, he's still just a youngster. I mean, only 27 or so, I think, right now. And at full flight, honestly, he's as efficient as anyone. Look, let's be honest, Dustin Johnson is the longest out here because he's got so much in the tank and he's so big and strong. But for Rory, who's right about 5'10", the speed that he hits with and the speed that he delivers this golf club at through the impact zone and the balance and the poise that he does it with is just, it makes my eyes stand out on stalks.
His display of driving at PGA Championship, the Ocean Course, was equally as impressive. He is a fearless driver.
Yeah, those I think were a couple of the best driving displays we've...
Northern Ireland, Mr. Rory McIlroy.
2 shots off the lead. My favorite scenario of the day has McIlroy storming back to win the tournament and then having to wait to see if Dustin Johnson finishes tied for second or not. Dustin Johnson could have a putt on the 18th hole for solo second that would determine whether or not Rory gets the FedEx Cup. There are a lot of cool scenarios. That's the one that jumps out at me as being the most interesting right now. He has the lowest scoring average on tour since the PGA Championship for Ryan Moore as well. Hot at the right time. We got to hurry to this next interview because this guy just hurried. Terrence Schaefer with Kevin Na.
Yeah, good strong one. Yeah, good strong 8. Perfect.
It's the voice of longtime caddy JP Fitzgerald. Been on Rory's bag many, many years, Brian. Great team. Just 156. Slightly uphill. They can go right out this one.
All right, we'll start again.
That'll blow out in 2 seconds.
Yeah, feeling a little gust.
Mark Immelman, what happened there?
Yeah, just a little puff of breeze. It's about as breezy as I've seen it here through the week, and it was coming in and off the right. Hole location here just over that deep bunker on the right-hand side. So Rory just making double. He's coming in and off the right. Hole location here just over that deep bunker on the right-hand side. So Rory just making doubly sure. This one's looking aggressive.
Right on.
Yeah, 2 really performances today.
Right now, these two both close enough to the top of the leaderboard. It is all about trying to win this event and see where else the chips may fall. This would pull McIlroy within 1.
This is a great spot to putt from. This is a really good spot to putt from.
And all those practice drills this morning paid off.
Here comes Rory. 1 back.
And important.
We're going to take a look at his golf swing. A beautiful setup. When you start looking at the lines drawn, you look at that line right there. That's as good as there is. And there's one thing more that I want you to look at. You look at this line right there. Excuse me just a second. But you look at this line right there, and then you look at this from here to here, that's going to be a straight line, trying to draw that triangle right there. But as he starts back, very wide stance, but look at the width. And again, if we stop it right there, he's maintained that width, but yet he hasn't set the angle. We saw Dustin Johnson earlier set the angle, but then Rory McIlroy with his angle, you know, again, that's even less than what we saw from Kevin Chappell. But as he gets it to the top, what I want you to notice is the massive turn, and look at how far his left shoulder is behind the golf ball. That is unbelievable. You talk about a 90-degree shoulder turn, that's probably 110. And when you combine that with just a minimal amount of hip turn, that's not a lot of hip turn on the backswing. But then as he starts unwinding, you can see the leg, the drive into that front leg, and that at impact, once again, you're going to see these guys all at that same impact position to where the head is behind the ball, and yet they form that straight line, but yet you still have a little bit of a shaft lean. I love the footwork by Rory McIlroy. And again, you see that right hip. It kind of goes back. It kind of stalls a little bit higher finish. But again, when you look at the power of that golf swing and the efficiency of it, that is really, really good.
There, he's just chilling because nobody has any idea who's going to win the FedEx Cup yet. He can't even practice because the name could be a lot of different possibilities, including one that's on the tee at 15 right now, that man.
Well, that man walked past me with a very bright and cheery countenance on the face. McIlroy just seemed like he was all full of the joys of spring, although we're in the fall time here in Atlanta. Doesn't feel like it, incidentally. And the breeze is now fresh over Rory's shoulder. He has the 7-iron in the hand and typically likes to draw the golf ball. So down the right to left breeze, that would be dangerous. I think a little hold up here would be upcoming for McIlroy.
Aiming left.
It was a good strike. This is fading towards the flag now.
Another good solid iron shot from McIlroy. He's hit 11 out of 14, his first 14 greens. So 12 out of the first 15. Good solid iron play from the Irishman. I should say Northern Irishman.
That was a big topic of conversation earlier this year before he announced he would not be playing in the Olympics. McIlroy has got to catch Chappell. Here's what happened. McIlroy at the 16th hole. He stuffed it in there yesterday. Thanks to our colleagues at NBC, we see him stuff it in there today. It goes in for an eagle. Oh my. He's going to try this.
Oh, if JP would just get out of the way, we could have a look at the lie, but...
He needs eagle.
My guy would have hit the fairway at all.
He thinks.
He would have won this fucking tournament. The way he was putting.
Whatever we're listening to is not Rory and JP.
The last couple of holes he couldn't hit.
But this is dicey, Jane.
It is. He's got a little tree trouble as well.
258. What do you got, kid? Had to keep it
He's
low.
made a sensational strike. This is coming in really hot.
That's what I got.
Oh, that is impressive from there. If anyone could pull that shot off, McIlroy has the strength to do it. And that's doable. He hit a beautiful bunker shot on the 8 at 7.
Time to figure this out. Mark, did Rory McIlroy have a glance at the leaderboard? He doesn't need a 3 anymore.
No, he was striding uphill like a cheetah. He got to this bunker in such a hurry. He's not wasting any time. He's got a downhill lie, though.
And he almost made a three anyway.
Sensational.
He is so good at these bunker shots. Hit an immaculate bunker shot at Deutsche Bank to win.
12 under might be enough, although he doesn't believe it right now. Another look at just how close this came.
And just nipped it perfectly. Came out with a low trajectory off that downslope. Brilliant shot.
We'll give him that one, although he'll have to make it. It'll get McIlroy to 12 under. Kevin Chappell's at 12 under. Ryan Moore has a putt to get to 13 under. Rory has to win.
Nothing, not for you, not for you.
Dustin Johnson is not far enough down yet. But he's about to have company. Ryan Moore in at -12. He needs Dustin Johnson in a tie for 8th. Dustin Johnson is 1 stroke away from a tie for 8th. Now McIlroy joins Moore in the clubhouse lead. They're both disappointed. They're both still alive. They can both still win the tournament and the FedEx Cup. Which, when you sign your card after 72 holes, if you still have both of those possibilities, you've had a pretty good week. 16, 17, 18 if necessary. It's sudden death, and here is that 18th hole.
Well, today playing at 573 yards, and this fairway just goes slightly downhill and to the left, and players either must hit a little draw off the tee, 380 yards to the end of the fairway, but it's got a little waterfall. It runs down to the water. Imperative to hit the fairway if you want to reach this green in 2. There's a new bunker been added just short right of this left-hand one, and there's a new one also behind the green here. The hole today is located 15 on and 6 off the left, and that is right about here. There's a chipping area right in this area, and a very, very steep slope right in here. So players have a chance to reach in 2 if they hit a terrific tee shot, but we've seen the players that do miss the fairway have to lay up. If they have a good enough lie, they can lay up across the water, give themselves a shot of about 100 yards.
All 3 of the playoff participants missed the fairway in regulation. They all had to lay up. Rory chose not to lay up because he's Rory, and he knocked it all the way up in the greenside bunker.
Well, Rory only hit 6 of 14 fairways. Ryan Moore hit 9 of 14 fairways, and Kevin Chappell hit 7 of 14 fairways. So it's going to be crucial for these guys to hit a good tee shot and give themselves a chance, because they all have the length to reach in 2.
And there they go. The 600-yard cart ride back. Mark Russell will administrate.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kevin, you'll lead off. And then Ryan, you're 2. Then Roy, guys, we're going to play 18. We're going to play 18 twice. Then we're going to go 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay? Good luck, gentlemen.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys.
Not a good solid strike.
The door wide open for Rory McIlroy. Also too far left. But he gets a bounce, and it winds up being too far down. Nobody's tried that line yet this week.
Might have a decent enough lie to reach. What do you think?
You're not supposed to be able to drive it there. I'm going to have to reassess.
It's 380 yards. Although they have moved the tee up a little bit, so it's probably like 360 through the end of the fairway from their tee today.
He almost hit the fairway over there. It's only cut fairway so you can walk around the lake. That's like driving it in the throat of a drivable par 4. You're not supposed to hit it there. Well, if you can hit it that far, probably should have tried 3-wood.
Well, that really caught the downslope. It caught the speed slot, didn't it, Brian? And I don't think that was intended line.
It caught the speed slot in the rough. We haven't seen too many come out of the rough this week, but he just muscled it through. Well, the tension builds as we have reached a crescendo here at East Lake. Rory Mcilroy, a former #1 in the world.
Well, and you'd have to think for Rory Mcilroy, he's got to be feeling pretty good about this. He certainly has the most experience of these 3 players right now. You know, Ryan Moore has won before. Kevin Chappell has not.
3 tee shots. Kevin Chappell first. This Ryan Moore second. And then the Irish green one, Rory Mcilroy, splits the difference, but at about 70 yards, and he gets it out into safety. And then so far that it goes through. Moore will have a clear look, although he won't have much, and Mark Immelman will get a better look at it. Chappell has issues. He will have tree trouble.
Understand, cell phones in your pockets now. There's no photography, no reason to pull them out.
Wow, that was risky. All right. Now one that could possibly reach here,
212, 197 and 15.
Yeah, 197 to the front. Holes on 15. Sitting pretty well. Certainly a steep downslope, but he can run it up there.
He did not get to take a drop.
Club twirl, I think he likes it.
And he should. Rory Mcilroy has hit it inside 5 feet with the FedEx Cup hanging in the balance.
Wow. What a touch of class. He won the Irish Open earlier this year, hitting a scintillating shot on the last hole.
Can you get me on it? Me on air
Knows
now?
what it takes.
Shoot.
Another look.
Oh, he absolutely loved this. You could tell as soon as he hit it, he flushed it.
Thought he needed eagle in regulation. Might need eagle in the playoff.
Well, you can't tell me that length and strength don't have an advantage. He drove that 357 yards, Brian. This has been an extraordinary display today from Rory Mcilroy. Knew the scenarios, knew what it took. Just has to make a putt now.
All of these guys had to win. He can do. That eliminates Kevin Chappell, who will now finish with his 4th runner-up finish of the season. But Rory Mcilroy still has his own fate in his hands, and the hands of that magical putter of his to win the Tour
That's the perfect place to
Championship
putt from.
and the FedEx Cup. And just that close. He thought he had it.
He went for the early fist pump. And a hard lip out. Wow.
Trying that same line again. This is farther. What a season of PGA Tour Live. We crank things back up in 3 weeks with the Safeway Open. Should Tiger be healthy enough to play, and he wants to play, one of those rounds will only be seen here on PGA Tour Live. And as good as it might be, I don't know that it's going to get any better than this. FedEx Cup in the balance.
Well, the playoff would be exciting enough if it wasn't in the balance, but now Rory Mcilroy in this playoff, this is doubly exciting.
Fourth runner-up finish of the season for Kevin Chappell, and he's with Taryn Schaefer.
Like it. You don't like that? No. Okay, play the shot.
This isn't much better. Low hook coming up for McIlroy. This goes wrong. The thing could end right here. He's going to try to get all the way across. Wow, indeed.
He's someone with the strength of McIlroy, and you can't tell me that all that working out in the gym doesn't help.
You had to have the gambler's mentality, though, Jane.
You do.
That ball comes out a little soft, comes out a little high, it catches the tree limbs. He's done. He hit it right underneath that tree. I'm not so sure it didn't catch something.
You're right. You have to have a gambler's mentality, but you have to have the strength and the confidence.
He didn't hit anything. He just...
He drilled it. He absolutely drilled it.
JP said, or the sand iron, and Rory says no.
And laid it up in a perfect spot. They might get tackled by a few stray Americans, perhaps, Brian.
Rory has answered that rallying call pretty much his entire career.
Mark might not be able to hear us.
Rory looked like he was going to walk all the way up there, and he's thinking about it. Mark, what would you advise one of your players to do in this situation?
I'd tell them, Brian, to watch Rory McIlroy play a little golf. I mean, how about that second shot that he hits? That was just a combination of strength, guts, and just a mindset that I think a few folks in the world's game have. And he's just walking up to the green. I'll tell you what, the place he's got the golf ball here has the ball in a slight downslope. And that's actually beneficial because it's going to give him the low ball that can jump up and scoot up the slope to leave him in a place where he's a little short of the hole and can putt aggressively. Because anything flattered to the cup is going to jump beyond, and then you're putting defensively. So I think he's actually in the garden spot, just 53 yards left yet to the hole. And I would say if you hit this about 40, have it jump up, take some check, you're in good business.
Rory McIlroy averages 13 feet from this distance this season. That has him 52nd on tour. He'll be looking to go much closer than that here.
Well, that could be perfect. Oh, it's one too hard.
Well, that's not as close as he would like, obviously, but too much spin. Let's have another look at this from the blimp.
Sounded a little heavy. Zoysia fairways have the ball standing straight up. They're wonderful for the rest of us that need all the help we can get.
Well, the grain of the grass also is growing toward the setting sun, which is into him, and that certainly wouldn't have helped that shot release. I think he'd like that one over. Yeah, he's saying just a little too much check on that. Needed to land it another 4 or 5 steps into the green. So now more, about 42 feet. ShotLink has this. Going to be a slow one, Mark.
It is going to be a slow one, Jane, and 42 feet, as you know, having...
Putt to win it all.
Well, there's a lot that he's... And there's a lot he's been able to see from watching that Moore putt, even though Moore came from a slightly different angle. Rory's seen the speed and he's seen the influence from the left-hand side of the green.
Just that close again. Crowd hustling over to 15, which would be the next playoff hole, but we're not there yet.
Well, it was a good-looking stroke. Just a little bit high, a little bit firm for that line. He gave it a good...
And what we would assume is a formality to force a third playoff hole. Over to the island green. FedEx Cup still in the balance. You start to wonder, where is Dustin Johnson right about now? Probably closer to get to the 15th tee from here than it is to get to the 18th tee from here. They found some room over there to put these tees. They actually floated these tees out into the lake there, supported them with air.
Over that primary rough and bounced back into it, Brian.
Now Rory.
7-iron, no wind. This one safely left of the flag.
That is a massive 7-iron.
That's not going to be an easy 2-putt from back there.
That 7-iron went almost 230 yards. But it's way better than the shot before it. Will McIlroy have another putt to win the FedEx Cup? And a long walk around the lake to think about it.
That is just a massive 7-iron.
Well, he pitched it 10 yards past the hole. That's 220. You don't think these guys are pumped up right now?
ShotLink has his next putt at 63 feet.
Yeah, the shot traveled 221 yards with a 7-iron.
Well, a lot's going to depend on the lie that Ryan Moore was drawn in that primary rough. He does have probably about 10 paces of green to work with, so there's... Mark, have you had a chance to look at it there, mate?
Yes, I have, Jane. It's on the upslope, but it's nestled down into the Bermuda rough, I would say. It's kind of got about 3/4 of the ball beneath the grass, a little bit of the top peeking. But off that upslope, that's going to make it a little hard because you've got to go with some loft and keep the speed up. And you've got to be really unsure about the contact from that sort of grass area.
Listen to the ovation as they work away around the lake at 15. He's still going. And they're having the discussion that I wanted to have with Mark. McIlroy is clearly away. But This is not next week. This is not the Ryder Cup. This is not match play. There are no rules. Ordinarily, Mark, you think you might just let the guy off the green play, but in this situation, what would you do?
Well, Ryan Moore looked over at Rory and pointed at him, and I said, I think he mouthed, "You go first." There was a lot of cheering in behind the green here, and by the looks of things, yeah, Ryan is stepping aside here and going to let Rory McIlroy have a go.
Oh, yep.
But again, I think that's so much a function of what the lie of the ball is there, because now at least he will have a beat on how aggressive he has to be out of that rough green side.
Jane, as you well know, there are no rules to dictate. These are just courteous rules. I'm sure if they asked the tournament officials at this point, they would insist that Rory, who's away, go first. But what would you do in this situation?
I think I would, if I were Ryan Moore, I would let... And on the rules of golf, he certainly is away. If it was a casual game, he might let him chip up, but...
Well, again, those rules do not apply in a stroke play situation, and this is a stroke play situation.
Exactly.
Everybody's left this short today. And that is well outside the comfort zone.
Certainly is, and opportunity now for more if he can nestle one in next to the flag here. Pressure will be back on McIlroy.
Mark, what's left? Not enough.
That's left, Brian.
It seems like there's another hole left. What a putt for Rory McIlroy in the moment. So McIlroy seems to have forced another hole.
To win it all. And Rory McIlroy pours in a birdie on the 4th hole of sudden death. He captures the Tour Championship, and he wins the FedEx Cup. Both trophies in hand for the...